What if I told you that two of the most influential and seemingly divided groups in the Middle East, Hamas and Hezbollah, share a surprising connection that goes beyond their religious differences? Welcome to Armchair Archaeology. Today, we're exploring the origins, strategies, and impact of Hamas and Hezbollah, two organizations that have shaped the political landscape of the region. We'll look at their different paths, their roles in governance and conflict, and how they've managed to influence global geopolitics. And make sure to stick around until the end, because we'll reveal a surprising link between these two groups that most people don't know about. Let's dive in. Hamas was founded in 1987 during the First Intifada, a Palestinian uprising against Israeli occupation in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. The group emerged from the broader Muslim Brotherhood movement, which had been active in the region for decades, advocating for Islamic values and providing social services. In its early days, Hamas's main focus was on charity work and community support, establishing schools, hospitals, and religious centers to serve Palestinian communities. This humanitarian work quickly earned it local legitimacy and helped it grow a strong base of support. However, as tensions escalated with Israel, Hamas took on a more active political and military role. It framed its mission as both a national and religious duty to liberate Palestinian territories from Israeli control and establish an Islamic state in what it considers historic Palestine, which includes present-day Israel, the West Bank, and Gaza. In 1988, Hamas published its charter, which outlined its opposition to the existence of Israel and emphasized armed resistance as a key strategy. The rise of Hamas was also shaped by dissatisfaction with the more secular nationalist movements, like the Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO. Many Palestinians, especially in Gaza, saw Hamas as a more effective and committed resistance movement. Over time, Hamas' combination of political and military activities has made it a central figure in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, but its refusal to recognize Israel and its commitment to armed resistance have also led to its international isolation. Hezbollah, which translates to the Party of God, and was founded in 1982 in Lebanon as a direct response to the Israeli invasion during the Lebanese Civil War. At the time, Lebanon was a deeply divided country with various factions vying for control. The Shia Muslim population in southern Lebanon, historically marginalized and underrepresented, found itself under occupation by Israeli forces. Hezbollah emerged from this context, initially as a grassroots movement aimed at resisting Israeli control in the region. From its inception, Hezbollah had strong support from Iran, particularly through the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. Iran saw Hezbollah as a critical ally in its broader strategy to expand its influence across the Middle East and challenge Western and Israeli power. The IRGC provided Hezbollah with the financial backing, military training, and weapons that helped the group establish itself as a formidable force. Iran's support also added a religious dimension to Hezbollah's identity, with both adhering to Shia Islamic principles. Hezbollah's early focus was clear: expel Israeli forces from southern Lebanon and protect the country's Shia community. Over time, however, the group's role expanded beyond military resistance. Hezbollah began to provide vital social services, including healthcare, education, and infrastructure development, particularly in regions where the Lebanese government's presence was weak. By the time Israeli forces withdrew from Lebanon in 2000, Hezbollah had already transitioned from a resistance group into a key political player in Lebanon, with a dual identity as both a militant and political organization. This combination has given Hezbollah a unique position in both Lebanese society and the broader Middle Eastern geopolitical landscape. While Hamas and Hezbollah share the common goal of resisting Israeli control, they differ significantly in their religious foundations, political strategies, and regional ambitions. Hamas is a Sunni Islamist movement, while Hezbollah follows Shia Islam. These religious distinctions shape their alliances and broader political outlooks, though both organizations have strategically worked together at times to achieve common objectives. Hamas' primary focus has always been the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Its main goal is to establish an Islamic state in all of historic Palestine, which includes the current state of Israel, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. Hamas views the liberation of these lands as both a national and religious obligation, and this focus drives its political and military activities. Hamas leadership and military operations are primarily based in Gaza, where the group has governed since 2007. Its political strategy is more localized, concerned with Palestinian self-determination and resistance to Israeli occupation. Hezbollah, on the other hand, operates with a broader regional focus. Although the group was initially formed to resist Israeli occupation in Lebanon, its objectives have expanded over time. Hezbollah is closely aligned with Iran, and its military and political activities often reflect broader Iranian interests in the region, particularly in conflicts such as the Syrian civil war. Hezbollah's ambitions extend beyond Lebanon and Israel, positioning it as a key player in Middle Eastern geopolitics. The group is heavily involved in regional proxy wars, where it often fights on behalf of its allies. Despite these differences, both groups maintain powerful military wings and have engaged in armed resistance against Israel. Hezbollah's greater military resources and experience in regional conflicts set it apart from Hamas, but their shared goal of resisting Israel has led to moments of cooperation, particularly during periods of heightened conflict. Hamas's rise to power took a dramatic turn in 2006, when it won a surprise victory in the Palestinian legislative elections, defeating the long-established Fatah party. This victory gave Hamas control over the Palestinian government and led to a brief but violent conflict with Fatah forces, which culminated in Hamas seizing full control of the Gaza Strip in 2007. Since then, Hamas has acted as the governing authority in Gaza, a role that has presented both opportunities and challenges. One of Hamas's central challenges is balancing its governance responsibilities with its commitment to armed resistance against Israel. As the de facto government in Gaza, Hamas is responsible for providing essential services to the population, including healthcare, education, and infrastructure. However, its military activities and refusal to recognize Israel have led to its designation as a terrorist organization by Israel, the United States, and several European countries. This designation, along with Israel and Egypt's blockade of Gaza, has isolated Hamas politically and economically, severely limiting its ability to govern effectively. The blockade has led to widespread poverty and unemployment in Gaza, with much of the population dependent on international aid. Despite these hardships, Hamas has managed to retain significant support within Gaza, largely through its social services network and its continued resistance against Israeli military actions. Periodic escalations of violence, such as the conflicts in 2008, 2014, and 2021, have further complicated Hamas's role as both a political leader and a militant group. Each escalation brings destruction to Gaza and Israel, perpetuating a cycle of violence that has left the region in a state of constant tension. Hamas' political role in Gaza is defined by this dual identity, part governing body, part resistance movement. This tension complicates both its internal governance and its relations with external actors, making Gaza a focal point of the broader Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Hezbollah, has grown into one of the most powerful political forces in Lebanon, far beyond its origins as a small militia during the Israeli occupation of southern Lebanon. As a political party, Hezbollah holds seats in Lebanon's parliament and wields significant influence over government decisions. This has allowed the group to shape national policy in ways that benefit its base, particularly Lebanon's Shia population, which has historically been marginalized in Lebanese politics. In addition to its political influence, Hezbollah plays a vital role in providing social services. The group operates schools, hospitals, and welfare programs, which have helped it gain a strong following among Lebanon's Shia community. For many Lebanese, particularly in the poorer regions of southern Lebanon and the Bekaa Valley, Hezbollah fills the gaps left by the state, providing essential services that the Lebanese government struggles to offer. This dual role, as both a political party and a provider of social services, has earned Hezbollah widespread support, despite its controversial military activities. However, Hezbollah's independent military wing complicates its position in Lebanon. Critics argue that Hezbollah acts as a state within a state, operating outside of the Lebanese government's control and pursuing its own military agenda, particularly in its conflicts with Israel. This became especially controversial during the Syrian civil war, when Hezbollah intervened on behalf of the Assad regime. Hezbollah's involvement in Syria deepened political divisions within Lebanon, as many viewed the group's actions as serving Iranian interests rather than Lebanese ones. Despite these criticisms, Hezbollah remains a powerful force in Lebanon. Its combination of political power, military strength, and social services makes it a unique actor in the Middle East, able to operate on both the domestic and regional stage. This multifaceted role allows Hezbollah to maintain its influence, even as it navigates the complex political landscape of Lebanon and the broader Middle East. Hamas and Hezbollah both maintain significant military wings, but their capabilities, resources, and tactics differ in important ways. Hamas military operations are largely based on asymmetrical warfare, using guerrilla tactics to fight against a much more technologically advanced Israeli military. Its military wing, the Izz ad-Din al-Qassam Brigades, relies on a combination of homemade rockets, mortars, and tunnel systems to conduct attacks on Israel. These tactics, particularly the use of rockets, have been a hallmark of Hamas's resistance, though they have also led to significant Israeli retaliations. Hamas military capabilities are limited by the Israeli-Egyptian blockade, which restricts the flow of weapons and materials into Gaza. While Hamas has developed an extensive network of tunnels for smuggling and has received financial and material support from external actors like Iran, its arsenal remains relatively basic compared to Hezbollah's. Hamas' focus on short-range rocket attacks and guerrilla tactics reflects its position as a localized force, primarily concerned with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Hezbollah, on the other hand, has evolved into a much more formidable military force, largely due to its close relationship with Iran. Hezbollah's military wing, the Islamic Resistance, is equipped with advanced weaponry, including precision-guided missiles, drones, and anti-tank systems. The group has also gained significant combat experience, particularly from its involvement in the Syrian civil war, where it fought alongside Bashar al-Assad's forces. This battlefield experience has made Hezbollah one of the most capable non-state military actors in the region. While Hamas focuses its military activities on Israel, Hezbollah's reach extends beyond Lebanon's borders. The group's ability to project power into Syria and its broader role as an Iranian proxy make it a key player in regional conflicts. Hezbollah's greater military resources and its involvement in multiple theaters of conflict set it apart from Hamas. Though both groups share the common goal of resisting Israeli policies and actions. Hamas and Hezbollah are viewed very differently across the international community, reflecting the complex political dynamics that shape the Middle East. In many Western countries, including the United States, Israel, and parts of Europe, both groups are designated as terrorist organizations. This designation is largely based on their use of violence against civilians and their refusal to recognize Israel's right to exist. For these countries, Hamas and Hezbollah's military activities, particularly attacks on civilian populations, make them security threats. However, perceptions of these groups differ significantly in the Arab and Muslim-majority world. In many parts of the Middle East, Hamas and Hezbollah are seen as legitimate resistance movements. Hamas, for example, is viewed by many Palestinians and their supporters as a defender of Palestinian rights, standing up against what they see as Israeli occupation and aggression. Hezbollah's successful resistance against Israeli forces in southern Lebanon has earned it a similar reputation as a protector of Lebanese sovereignty. In Lebanon, Hezbollah occupies a dual role that complicates its international image. While its military wing is designated as a terrorist organization by some Western nations, its political party is seen as a legitimate actor in Lebanese politics. The European Union, for instance, makes this distinction, labeling Hezbollah's military activities as terrorism while recognizing its political engagement within the Lebanese government. This split view reflects the broader debate over how to define groups that engage in both political governance and armed resistance. The international community's divided perceptions of Hamas and Hezbollah highlight the challenges of navigating Middle Eastern politics, where political, religious, and historical factors all play a role in shaping how these groups are understood and engaged with. Both Hamas and Hezbollah maintain close relationships with Iran, though the nature of these alliances differs based on religious and political factors. Hezbollah, a Shia Muslim organization, has deep ideological ties with Iran's Shia-led government. Since its founding, Hezbollah has relied on Iranian support to build its military strength and expand its influence in Lebanon. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, has provided Hezbollah with financial backing, weapons, and training, making the group a key part of Iran's broader strategy to challenge Israeli and Western power in the Middle East. Hamas, a Sunni Islamist group, has a more complex relationship with Iran. Despite their religious differences, Iran has provided Hamas with financial and material support over the years, largely because both share a common goal of resisting Israeli control. However, the relationship has not always been smooth. During the Syrian civil war, Hamas sided with Sunni rebel groups fighting against the Assad regime, while Iran and Hezbollah supported Assad. This created a rift between Hamas and Iran, leading to a temporary cooling of relations. In recent years, however, Hamas and Iran have repaired their relationship, with Iran once again providing financial aid and military resources to Hamas. This cooperation highlights how political objectives, such as opposition to Israel, can sometimes override sectarian divides. While Hezbollah's relationship with Iran is deeper and more consistent, both groups rely on Iranian support to further their military and political goals. This pragmatic alliance between Iran, Hamas, and Hezbollah underscores the complex nature of Middle Eastern geopolitics, where shared enemies can bring together groups that might otherwise be at odds due to religious or ideological differences. Hamas and Hezbollah both play critical roles in the Middle East, particularly in terms of regional stability or instability. Their military actions and political influence ripple beyond their immediate conflicts, drawing in neighboring countries and global powers. Hamas' role in Gaza has had a profound impact on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The group's ongoing armed resistance, including rocket attacks and violent confrontations with Israeli forces, has led to numerous conflicts over the years, from full-scale wars to periodic escalations. These clashes often cause significant destruction and loss of life on both sides, and each round of conflict puts additional strain on international diplomatic efforts aimed at peace. Moreover, the Israeli-Egyptian blockade of Gaza has created a humanitarian crisis, with widespread poverty and unemployment further destabilizing the region. Each outbreak of violence between Hamas and Israel risks drawing in other actors in the Middle East and complicating broader regional dynamics. Hezbollah's role in regional stability is even more complex, as the group is involved in conflicts beyond Lebanon's borders. Hezbollah's military activities in Syria, where it fought alongside the Assad regime, have contributed to the ongoing civil war and the broader struggle for influence in the Middle East. Its close ties to Iran also make it a key player in the geopolitical rivalry between Iran and countries like Saudi Arabia and Israel. Hezbollah's ability to engage in both conventional and unconventional warfare, combined with its political influence in Lebanon, makes it a significant factor in the region's balance of power. Both Hamas and Hezbollah have become central players in the Middle East's complex political and military landscape. Their actions contribute to the ongoing cycles of conflict that define the region, while their influence extends far beyond their immediate borders, affecting the policies and actions of regional and global powers. Despite their religious differences, Hamas being a Sunni group and Hezbollah being Shia, these two organizations have found common ground in their shared resistance to Israel. While their ideologies differ, their political and military objectives often align, leading to periods of cooperation that may seem surprising given their sectarian divides. Their relationship began in the 1990s when Hezbollah, already a well-established militant force, began providing training and support to Hamas. Hezbollah's more sophisticated military capabilities, particularly its experience in guerrilla warfare, proved valuable to Hamas as it sought to strengthen its own resistance efforts against Israel. This cooperation extended beyond training. Hezbollah has also shared intelligence and military strategies with Hamas, further deepening their connection. During times of heightened conflict with Israel, Hamas and Hezbollah have coordinated their actions to maximize pressure on Israeli forces. For instance, during the 2006 Lebanon War, Hezbollah launched attacks from Lebanon, while Hamas increased its rocket fire from Gaza. This simultaneous action forced Israel to engage on two fronts, a tactic that has been repeated in other conflicts. Their cooperation, often facilitated by Iran, shows how political and military goals can sometimes override religious differences. The alliance between Hamas and Hezbollah underscores the pragmatic nature of Middle Eastern geopolitics. Both groups recognize the strategic value in working together, even if their religious ideologies differ. This cooperation reflects the broader complexities of the region, where alliances are often driven by immediate objectives rather than long-term ideological unity. As promised, here's the surprising connection between Hamas and Hezbollah. Despite their significant religious differences, Hamas being Sunni and Hezbollah being Shia, these two groups have worked together more closely than many might expect. While the Sunni-Shia divide has historically caused deep conflicts within the Islamic world, in the case of Hamas and Hezbollah, their shared political and military goals have often transcended this sectarian divide. Their cooperation began in the 1990s, when Hezbollah, with its more established military infrastructure, provided training to Hamas fighters. Hezbollah's experience in guerrilla warfare and its well-developed military tactics became invaluable to Hamas as it sought to enhance its capabilities against Israel. Over the years, the groups have shared intelligence and coordinated strategies, particularly during periods of heightened conflict with Israel. During major escalations, Hezbollah has launched attacks from Lebanon, while Hamas did the same from Gaza, effectively forcing Israel to confront threats on multiple fronts. What's even more surprising is how their relationship is driven not by religious alignment, but by political necessity and shared opposition to Israel. This pragmatic alliance, largely facilitated by their mutual ally Iran, demonstrates how geopolitics in the Middle East often defy expectations. Even with their religious and ideological differences, both groups have found common ground in their resistance to Israeli policies. Their cooperation serves as a reminder that, in the complex web of Middle Eastern politics, shared goals often override religious divides. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the histories and complexities of Hamas and Hezbollah. If you found this exploration insightful, please support our channel by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to Armchair Archaeology. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on future videos. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What other historical events or movements would you like us to explore next? Share your ideas in the comments below. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep the flame of curiosity burning bright.